Tom Brenneman and Ron Pitts have the call of the Lions and Packers. Now, with Election Day coming this Tuesday, we've been bombarded with political ad after political ad. Here are a few the FCC wouldn't let air.
If you want a congressman whose motto is blood, sweat, and tears, then on Tuesday vote for Big John Teerling. On Tuesday, vote for Reggie White as your county sheriff. Reggie's tough on crime and brings the long arm of the law with him. Barry Sanders runs like our presidential candidate. You can't pin him down as he flip-flops to Election Day. So on Tuesday, remember, vote for the black and blue ticket. Sunny but cool Sunday afternoon at Lambeau Field in Green Bay for this Central Division matchup between the 4-4 Detroit Lions and the 7-1 Green Bay Packers. A pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. The Detroit Lions are in a little bit of a trouble, Ronnie. They have lost the last couple of games, and now they're without their starting quarterback, Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, Don Majkowski's going to start. Kind of a homecoming for him coming back to Green Bay to play. If anything else, he will give Detroit mobility in the pocket in terms of passing. The big key for them, Barry Sanders. I think Barry Sanders has to get the ball early. Talking to Wayne Fontes yesterday, he said we're going back to basics. Well, to me, that means I'm going to get him the ball, get it to him a lot early in the game, and see what he can do. That's their problem. The guy has gone last 6 games not going over 100 yards. Get him involved and see what happens.
Well, as far as Green Bay is concerned, they have to be troubled about their wounded wide receiving core. They've lost Robert Brooks for the season, now Antonio Freeman for the next 4-6 weeks. What now?
Yeah, Don Beebe becomes the go-to guy. Talking to Brett Favre yesterday, he needs to catch 50 or more balls toward the end of the season. Anthony Morgan is back. Everybody's excited about that. He's actually going to play some today. Terry Mickens will be activated for the first time. These 3 guys have to be productive on the perimeters. Don't forget about the tight ends. 2 Pro Bowlers, Jamorian Jackson. They'll step up. Dorsey Levens, Edgar Bennett, not only running the ball, but they got to be effective in terms of catching out of the backfield.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that today. Coming up, it'll be the Lions and the Packers from Lambeau Field after these messages from your local Fox station.
Dominate. 1, 2, 3.
Titletown, yellow towels out in Green Bay, Wisconsin on this 43-degree fall afternoon. Wayne Fontes, in this his 8th year, the all-time winningest head coach in Detroit Lions history, 57 years old, out of Canton, Ohio. And Mike Holmgren, what a job in this his 5th season. He's led the Packers to 4 consecutive winning seasons, and that was last accomplished by the great Vince Lombardi. Well, the Lions have won the toss, selected to receive, so we'll see this Detroit offense minus Scott Mitchell right from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think what that will mean is, like we said earlier, more mobility with Don Majkowski back there. If Don doesn't see what he likes, he will not hesitate to get out of the pocket and try to make something happen.
Network spins it away, low line drive, and it'll take a couple of hops before Glenn Milburn picks it up at the 5-yard line. Tries to turn it to the outside, and he steps his way out of bounds at the 26. Tyrone Williams there to force him out. So offensively, it'll be the former Green Bay Packer, 32-year-old Don Majkowski. He spent the 87. Majkowski getting his first start since 2 seasons ago. And here's Sanders, a big hole off the right side, and he has first down yardage out to the 38. Leroy Butler there on the tackle after a 12-yard gain. The #1 defense in all of football. The ends, Sean Jones and Reggie White. Brown and Dotson having huge years in the middle. Young linebackers, Williams and Simmons, a veteran Kuntz in the middle. And a secondary responsible for 22 interceptions this season. Evans and Newsom the corners. Robinson and Butler are the safety. Right out of the chute, Sanders a 12-yard gain. Looked like a blown play there. Majkowski has to eat it. And he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Sean Jones able to trip him up.
We already saw it right off the bat. Barry Sanders. Get it to him now. 20-25 times a game he has to touch that ball. That's the number. Favre is the most accurate passer in NFL on the move. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him go, especially to his right. Maximize artillery. They got to use everybody. We talked about the 2 Pro Bowl tight ends, and then Dorsey Reggie Levens, Edgar Bennett in the backfield, running it as well as catching it. All hands on deck for this one.
Well, Scott Mitchell, the third quarterback today. Johnny Johnson, a rookie out of Illinois, the number 2 man behind Majkowski, who is dropped by Reggie White.
Talking to Tom Moore, the Lions offensive coordinator, before the game, he is so worried about the front four of the Green Bay Packers. And then you got to start with the worry on Reggie White. Majkowski doesn't see what he wants downfield and he just has to try to make something out of it. But they are the reason they're the #1 defense in the NFL. They have people up front that get heat, and they can block up man-to-man down the field with some pretty good corners in Newsome and Evans.
And it's not a sack for White. It was a 2-yard gain, so it brings up 3rd and 7. Metzelar's in motion, and he'll stay in the block. Majkowski, good protection. Finds a receiver across the middle, Johnny Morton. And he has first down yardage to the Green Bay 47-yard line. Pryor on the tackle after a gain of 12.
Nice poise by Majkowski there, Tom. Sat in the pocket. It was closing in on him, and he had the patience to find Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton's going to come all the way across, right underneath. They're going to have double coverage, but the protection's pretty solid. He's got time to step up, look, and nobody touches him. Very nicely done up front by the line.
Well, Don Majkowski had some huge gains here at Lambeau Field when he was a Green Bay Packer. Mentioned a Pro Bowler in '89, play fake to Sanders and looking for the goods down the field, and he misses his intended receiver, Herman Moore. Newsome with him step for step.
Herman Moore slips on this play. And, you know, it's funny, we talked to Herman Moore, and he's been frustrated. He's been frustrated because he feels this team has not pushed the ball deep down the field as much as possible. And right off the bat, you see his first route is like a 15-yard comeback. So I would expect that. Don Majkowski is not a 3-step dink and dunk guy. He wants to push the ball vertically. Like I said, will not hesitate to get out of there if the heat comes.
2nd and 10, Sanders' second carry, penalty flag down. And he is met after a short gain by Wayne Simmons. But again, penalty flags littering the playing field. Kuntz also there in on the stop of Sanders. Well, it's been a very inconsistent as it's offsides against Green Bay.
Those are the breaks. Most of the coaches for Green Bay are a little bit worried about what Majkowski might do to them today. It's one thing to have a guy come in that you haven't seen.
Offsides, number 21, defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
They got Craig Newsome as we look at Fritz Shermer here, the defensive coordinator for Green Bay. Craig Newsome in a bump and run position, lined up a little bit too close to the line. Well, you don't see that called very often, but he knows going up against Herman Moore that he's got to try to get him and get him early.
After the penalty, a 2nd and 5, Herman Moore in motion, and Sanders will get another try, trying to turn the corner outside, and could not escape a host of Green Bay tacklers. Newsome there, along with Robinson, forcing him to the outside, was Reggie White.
Isn't that amazing how this guy, looking at Barry Sanders, always makes people miss? And that's why I say get him the ball, get it to him early. They've been messing around trying to get the passing game going because defenses are using 8-man fronts on them, and they're trying to use the receivers, but people come into a game, they fear one guy first, and that's Barry Sanders.
6 defensive backs check in for Green Bay on this 3rd and 5. Moore again in motion, and Majkowski rolls left, in trouble, but he will run for the first down as he slides to the Green Bay 34-yard line.
That's something they wouldn't have with Scott Mitchell. The recognition that it wasn't there, and now go ahead and get out of there and make something happen. Sean Jones looked like he jumped off sides. I mean, no flag came, but here Majkowski doesn't see it. It's good coverage downfield, knowing where the marker is. That's what he can bring that guy maybe wouldn't bring.
Well, you talked about that, and Wayne Fonts discussed it with us a great deal last night. Very impressive opening drive. 5 rushes, a couple of passes. It's another first down, and Majkowski looking downfield for Herman Moore, and he overthrows the intended receiver into double coverage.
It looked like there was a mix-up there. Herman Moore almost stops running the route here. I don't know if he thought he was they're trying to lull Craig Newsome to sleep, but I don't know if they're on the same page on that.
A lot of different formations. That's one thing that Wayne Fontes told us that would go on today. A lot of motion. They can't just stay predictable. They got to move people around. I've seen Herman Moore moved around twice now in motion situations and not just stuck on that right side.
Harriman and Morton at the top of your screen. Moore on the bottom part, and he takes the reception. And a short game, good open field tackle there by Craig Newsom. So it'll bring up third down and close to 5.
Craig Newsom knows going against Herman Moore that he's got a height disadvantage. You can see it right there. So whenever a ball is caught, he just has to make sure he secures the tackle, and that's what he does here. Herman Moore has been taken out of the games here this year by people getting in his face, bump and run. And you know where that came from? That came from the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoff game last year. They went bump and run all game long, and now people have copied it.
Third down and 4. Detroit has converted on each of its first 2 third down plays. And did they get this one? Perriman makes the reception. Very close to the first down at the 25-yard line. And it looks as though they're going to mark him just short.
Boy, what a catch by Brett Perriman. He's down. I don't know if he can roll on that ball or what.
Let's welcome this week's Oscar Mayer and Kraft.
They know where the marker is. And it's just a quick 3-step drop by Mikowski. He took a shot by Dotson. But the catch is really outstanding.
Well, Perriman's still down. He has not gotten up after making that reception. And it looks as though they are short of the first down. We'll be back to Lambeau Field in a moment.
Is brought to you by West Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By the new Lexus ES300, the road is calling. Answer it. By MasterCard. MasterCard, it's smart money. And by 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
No score. Green Bay on 4th and inches on this opening drive. Barry Sanders in motion. And now Herman Moore. And it looks as though there was movement along the line of scrimmage against Green Bay.
And they got Gilbert Brown. They were never going to snap the ball. They were going to go with the hard count, see if they could pull someone off, and they did it. Whoa.
Well, wait a minute. They're saying that Brown was drawn off sides by Glover.
Hit Bob. Offense. Number 1, 5 yards. 4th down.
And if I'm Wayne, I'm mad too.
Well, let's watch and listen in on the snap count.
I'm sorry. That is really chintzy there. 9 times out of 10, that is not going to get called. It has to be flagrant. Now, they're going to line up and kick it. And if I'm Wayne, like I said, I am very upset about that one.
Mark Royals to hold for Jason Hanson. And it is good from 47 yards away. So the Detroit Lions take the opening kickoff, march down the field. A penalty may have cost them keeping the drive alive, but they walk away with a 3-0 lead. Con still about the call against his quarterback, Don Mikowski, on what was going to be a 4th and inches to keep the drive alive. Brett Perriman, meanwhile, still on. He has not gotten up, and that has to be a great concern right now as it's 3-0 Detroit. Hanson spins it away, and Desmond Howard will take it 2 yards deep in the end zone and bring it out. Howard crosses the 20. He was a step away from breaking that one, perhaps all the way to the end zone. So now it'll be Brett Favre, the 27-year-old Kill, Mississippi native. Number 1 in the NFL in touchdown passes this season. 21 of those, but the big concern for Brett Favre in the last 2 games, San Francisco and then last week against Tampa Bay, only 1 touchdown pass.
It's going to be interesting to see how Green Bay jumpstarts this offense today. Everybody knows about what's going on the perimeter with Brooks being out and now Antonio Freeman. How will they get things rolling?
And Terry Mickens has been activated for the first time all season. Number 85 will watch him. Claude scrambling out of trouble and caught from behind by Kerwin Waldrop, who was starting in place of the injured Tracy Scroggin. So Favre, who is 4th in the NFC in passing yards, #1, as we mentioned, in touchdown passes in the entire NFL. Michaels gets his 2nd straight start. We'll look for Ken Rutgers a little bit later on today. In the backfield, it will be Edgar Bennett, William Henderson. The receiving core of Mickens and Beebe. We'll see Anthony Morgan later. Mark Chmura is the tight end. On a 2nd and 9. Bennett trying to slip to the outside, cuts back in and crosses the 30 to the 31, where he's met by Greg Jeffries. Defensively, the number 8's got a bung of ankle. 3rd and 5. Dorsey Levens, a lone setback. Clark, good protection, drops it off to Mickens across the middle, and he leans to the 37 for a first down. Jeffries couldn't hold him back from getting there.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Jeffries is one of the guys they want to work on. He's coming in replacing Corey Raymond at that corner position. Done a good job, but when there's new meat in the game, you go after that new meat. And this is good awareness by Mickens. He knows where the first down marker is, and a nice job by Jeffries trying to keep him from crossing that line. Good extension there. He's getting back now fresh off that ankle sprain that's hobbled him pretty much all year so far.
Well, that is the first catch of the season for Mickens. Burren Jackson into the game, and this is Keith Jackson still on his feet. Close to another first down out to the 47. Benny Blades in on the tackle. But while we have a moment, let's send it back to our Fox Television Center in Hollywood and our main man, James Brown.
Tom, take a look at this run by Herschel Walker, now 4th all-time in total yards in NFL history, thanks to this 86-yard opening kickoff return that set up a 1-yard score by Emmitt Smith. Dallas on top by a touch. TB and Ron Pitts.
Ronnie Wilkins, what a big year he's had.
Yeah, I think Dallas has just woken up right now, okay, and it's time for them to play. Their season has started as of last week, and they are going to be hard to play against from here on in. Green Bay's got to go down there
in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks, too. And they're going to catch them in rare form, I'm afraid.
It was good enough for a first down on the reception to Mickens. This is Dorsey Levens trying to break it to the outside, stays on his feet and picks up close to 7, shoved out of bounds by Ryan McNeil. This is a man you thought has to get a little more involved in the offense.
Yeah, he does. You know, if you look at Dorsey Levens, he runs with the same kind of quickness and agility that Edgar Bennett does, but he's a little bit bigger, and he catches well out of the backfield. He's a guy I think is going to be involved more, and that's one thing that Mike Holmgren has to do now with what's going on in the perimeters. He's got to get his people involved. Everybody, you got to use all your weapons. Perriman had the wind knocked out of him, but he looks like more than the wind is bothering him.
Well, that's a report they've given us. He will return, but that certainly didn't look good. 2nd and 2, and Favre back to throw. And has a chance. Nearly intercepted. Should have been intercepted by Ron Rice.
And look at Ron Rice pointing to the sun. Ron, I don't know, man. That's... Oh, he had a perfect break on it. I'm not sure where Favre is throwing the ball. Ron Rice is standing in the post. Look at that. Oh. Maybe the sun did catch him. I don't know. We have to give him the benefit of the doubt. There's Ron Rice right there. I mean, perfect beat on the ball. He should have gone up and chest caught the ball. That's why you chest catch the ball. It's a much more safer catch when you have things like the sun in your eyes.
You had a few of those in your day.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have hands. I had to chest catch.
3rd down and 2 for Green Bay, trying to keep their opening possession alive, and they will on the completion to Bennett. He is pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line, coverage by Reggie Brown.
Yeah, that's huge. Missing that interception now. Green Bay comes back. A completion to Bennett gets a first down. These are the type of things that Brett Favre can do to you. You can't let him off the hook.
The guy has such a remarkable touch on the ball.
He does.
Edgar Bennett.
Yeah, and he's a strong thrower. You know, when he first came into the league, people wanted to criticize him. They said he couldn't throw strong. He didn't have a strong arm. Well, he does have a strong arm, and he's very accurate, especially on the run.
Favre's 5th pass of the game, screen to Bennett, and he tried to slip in between a pair of tacklers, but a good play made by Henry Thomas to slow Bennett down. And Aaron Taylor leading the way when he comes to call, and you know he's there.
Yeah, and they're going against a defense that, in all respects, has been butchered. They have not been healthy, especially on their right side. They've had trouble at the linebacking position, as we look at Jim Eddy right there, the defensive coordinator. They had trouble at the linebacking position all year long. Really haven't started the same set of guys since way back at the beginning of the year. Scroggins, he's out again. Reggie Brown, been on and off, injuries. That's a personal problem. Stephen Boyd. And then you lose Luther Ellis, the big one, as a starter.
2nd and 3. Levens will come up shy of the first down. Ran into Thomas and Porsche along with Ellis.
It's amazing, though, how Wayne Fontes always finds himself in the same old position around this time every year. In fact, some people at the Lions will say, hey, you know, we're even right now. It's better than being 2 and 5 in that situation.
He's like a Dalmatian on a fire truck. He's made this ride before.
But I don't know about this time. I don't know how much longer the guys will believe that, hey, we're back against the wall speech, let's go. You know, after a while, that gets kind of solid.
3rd and 3. Chamura in motion. Lay fake to Bennett, and they drop it off to Henderson. First down inside the 25-yard line. Dave Lade's able to stop Henderson, but not before he has another Packer first down.
You know, Tom, that's classic West Coast offense here. They had 5 guys in the route. Now, I want you to watch what everybody does, especially the backs, and watch the way people are going in every which direction. This is hard for a defense to catch. He fakes the both backs, and then he gets both backs out in the route. That's very hard to defend, and that's what makes this offense work. It's all predicated on timing, delivering, and poise from your quarterback.
11th play of the drive. Quick strike to Don Beebe. Cuts it back to the inside, and he's close to another first down. And again, Benny Blades having to make the tackle.
Do you think that Don Beebe can run? Look at the cushion that Ryan McNeil gives him. Hey, you're not going to get on the highlights across the nation tonight with those little catches. But you get toward the red area, I would expect Jim Eddy to get his people up in a bump position, get them in playing close. And that's another long drive, another perfect drive by Green Bay so far. And unlike most teams, they get really good down toward the end zone, putting the ball in.
2nd and 1. Penalty flags on the field as Henderson gets the football. Will be very close to a first down, but we'll see. Well, if there is any concern about this Packer offense coming in the game today, you never know it by this opening drive. And offsides against Detroit, that will be an automatic first down.
Well, Detroit no doubt has helped themselves by, number one, going down the field. They get a suspect call.
Offsides, number 93. Defense, 5-yard penalty. That's a first down.
They get a suspect call, but they at least get 3 points, Tom, and take time off the clock, okay? And 1:47 to go. Green Bay still on their first drive. That's how you want to play them. I got to go back to that dropped interception, though, by Ron Rice. To me, that's huge because that's a chance to not only get the ball, but to keep Green Bay off the field and go back down the field.
So Levens alone setback on 1st and goal from the 9. Boyd will be caught from behind by Antonio London, and that's a sack.
Don't be late.
And for Antonio London, that's his 3rd of the season.
Antonio London, a bona fide playmaker, a guy coming out of college who people complained he rushed too much and couldn't play on the run. Now, there he is, right there, 55. He's just going to whip on John Michaels, the starting left tackle, and run far down. Barber aborted the play. He was going to go ahead and try to run it in.
Take a look at that.
And you know the best part about that? Right there. They don't turn it over. They don't make the mistakes down by the goal line.
4 wide receivers check into the game. And you've got to look at big John Michaels, the left tackle. This is Dorsey Levens. And again, penalty flags come down. He's able to slither his way inside the 10-yard line.
You see that flag thrown right at our offensive lineman down inside like that. That usually means a penalty, a hold.
Well, you saw Mike Holmgren in his reaction. You just wonder, is Sherman Lewis about to take over calling the play?
Holding, number 52. Offense, 10 yards. Still 2nd down.
That's Frank Winters, the center.
Well, I'll tell you, the center's job around the league is to hold, okay? If he can't hold coming out of college, then he can't play in this league. It's just a matter of whether or not they see it. And Frank Winters, I mean, he's a brawling type guy. He will get after it with you all day long. And he's got to be today going against a guy like Hank Thompson. And I look down there and I see Luther Ellis finally in the game.
So Marvin Chimura will see what he can do about getting his Green Bay offense going the other way. Second and goal from the 22-yard line after the penalty. Favre, a bullet across the middle and caught at the 1-yard line by BB, and boy, did he take a shot from Ron Rice. 21-yard gain as BB has not gotten up.
And Holmgren, once again, has to hold his breath because another wideout is down. A good drag route by BB, and you talk about the delivery. Favre makes a shot there. A little slip down by Stewart. A good hit by Ron Rice. Ron Rice is probably a guy that should play a lot more. Oh, I mean, the complaint last week was that Melvin Johnson from Tampa Bay did not go for the ball. Well, I don't know what Mike Holmes is going to say this week.
Clean hit.
That's a clean hit. And he smooth lays him out. But great catch by Don Beebe. He holds on to the rock by the goal line when they need it.
Third and goal from the 1 when we come back. After that violent collision a moment ago, delivered by Ron Rice, able to jump to his feet. And you hear the reaction from the Packer faithful. They know they can't lose another wide receiver. Third and goal inside the 1. Henderson and Levens in the backfield. And Favre to throw a touchdown, Green Bay, Dorsey Levens.
And here they go. They decide to switch it up this time and give equal time to the other end zone. Like a political ad. Got to give equal time to both end zones.
And Brett Favre, his 22nd touchdown pass of the season. He used 6 different receivers, hitting 8 of 9 on the opening drive.
There it is. That is called maximizing your artillery. Pull out the weapons and use everybody. That's what a West Coast offense affords you.
Jackie, the extra point out of the hole of Henrik. And he nails it through. A 14-play, 74-yard drive that chews up 9 minutes. And Favre on the final play of the quarter delivers a touchdown to Levens, giving Green Bay a 7-3 lead. It away as we open the second quarter, and this is Glenn Milburn from his 15-yard line, breaks a couple of tackles, ran into his own man, and was able to stay on his feet out to the 32-yard line, tackled there by Ron Cox. 7-3, Green Bay leads. Back to Lambeau in a moment. Ron Pitts, Tom Brenneman back at Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Impressive opening quarter, opening drive for each team, a 7-3 Packer lead. But before the game here today, now your dad, the legendary Elijah Pitts, played for the legendary Vince Lombardi. Now take a look at this before the game today.
Yeah, look at this, the unveiling of the new stamp. Boy, that's something else.
Daughter Susan, part of the pre-game festivities.
He made a lot happen here.
I should say he did. So the second drive of the game for the Detroit offense, Don Mikowski, very impressive when they first had the football, and a huge hole for Sanders. Couple of men to beat, and still on his feet, cuts it back to the inside, and he's all the way to the 35-yard line. Leroy Butler on the tackle after a 37-yard gain.
There it is, very early, very often, and you know what? He's going to get a few here, then he's going to break one right here. Watch this hole open up. Nice job there by Compton, and an overscrape by Wayne Simmons, the linebacker. That makes it happen. And it's never over until you get this man on the ground. This is what they need. Look what this does to field position. Doug Evans misses a tackle there. Metzlar is a pretty nice block.
Sanders again. How did he avoid a couple of Green Bay tacklers there? He's to the 30.
Look, did you see what he did to Gilbert Brown? As big as Gilbert Brown is, all 325 pounds of him, he just made him look completely silly.
Well, Barry Sanders, who has not rushed, as Ronnie pointed out earlier, for 100 yards in the game since week 42. Second longest route of his career. 4 carries today, 50 yards. Metzelaars in motion on a 2nd and 5. Sanders his 3rd straight carry, and he has another first down to the 23. Mike Pryor on the stop.
Now, let me ask you something. What do you think the problem has been with the Lions in the last 6 weeks? Has it been the passing game?
So you're saying you like this guy a little bit?
He's okay. I can live with this guy. You know, something about this little guy kind of grows on you. You know what I mean?
You can't see him behind the mountain.
Hey, the fact that they have come out and tried to pass the ball plays right into the hands of opposing defenses. The defenses worry about one man when you play the Detroit Lions, and that's number 20, Barry Sanders.
Brett Perriman back in the game on a 1st and 10. It's Barry Sanders again, and again a huge hole down to the 15-yard line. Eugene Robinson able to trip him up.
And see, look what it does to field position. And Barry, something happened to Barry there. This is going to be a cutback play. He started off to the right side and then cut back and makes nice yardage on it. But it looked as though Barry hurt something on the way down. He got hit right on the back. And you see he's mad about it too. It looks like that face mask from Eugene Robinson got him right on the small of the back.
Ron Rivers has checked in the game for Barry Sanders, and he'll get the carry. And he appears to have close to first down yardage. Needed to get to the 13-yard line. Gilbert Brown on the stop, and here comes Mr. Sanders. Bear in mind, over the last 6 weeks, there have been 41 100-yard rushing games. Barry Sanders, one of the greatest backs in the history of the NFL, none.
And you look at what he averages per carry. He's 4.4 yards per carry. All right, last year this time he was 4.9, and everybody's complaining and crying about it. But do you know what 4.4 does to you on 3rd down situation? You're looking at 3rd and short every single time. Anytime you can average over 3.5, you are doing something really good run the ball.
Well, the carry by Rivers is good enough for a first down.
And see, look what's happened to field position now. One big run, they're over the 50, they're down here inside the 20, and now they just keep handing it off.
Got to give the Lions a lot of credit offensively, minus their starting quarterback. Trips to the left on a 1st and 10 at the 13. Metzelaars in motion. They play fake to Sanders. Good protection. Throw to the end zone. It's broken up by Robinson.
Boy, I thought Eugene Robinson had his hands on that ball. There's a guy that catches 200 balls a day out of a jugs machine in practice. They come with the play action. Going to fake it to that man, which is a pretty good idea with the runs he's had. I thought Don let this ball go in the midst of traffic. He doesn't have a lot there.
Second down and 10 from the 13. Boy, the delay handoff to Sanders, penalty flag down, and they will blow the play dead.
They had movement on the left side of the offensive line. I don't know whether it was Metzelaars or Roberts or Compton. Somewhere on that side, somebody moved. And, I thought that was a good job by the officials in, Tom, of making sure to blow the play dead. The play, it does not count. Make sure everybody hears it.
False start. Number 72, offense. Moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's big Ray Roberts right there. Let's see if we can pick it up. That's tough. That's hard to call. His hand might have come up a touch early.
That just looked like a basketball player, that great first step, and they call you for traveling because nobody else can do it. 2nd and 15 after the penalty. And the ball back up to the 18-yard line. Morton in motion, Mikowski to throw. Looking Morton's way through the hands. Penalty flag down on the far side of the field.
Looked like Kuntz came inside on the blitz and might have got across the line early. Other side.
Legal procedure will be against Detroit, and it looks as though Kuntz is thinking about declining the penalty.
Number 87, offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Johnny Morton Okay, now he's right here. What he does, he starts creeping toward the line. That's called drifting. Right there, see? And that's a good call. That's a mental error. He knows he can't do that.
3rd and 15. And you see what they've done from 11 yards or longer on the 3rd down. They're going to hand it off to Barry Sanders. Cuts back. Avoids one. What on his feet? He's going to the end zone. Can you believe that?
He made something out of absolutely nothing. And then people want to know what's wrong with the Detroit Lions. Nothing. You didn't give the ball to Barry Sanders enough early in the game.
Unbelievable.
You don't call it blocking because he's got to avoid a guy before he even gets across the line of scrimmage. Eugene Robinson, is he strong? Yeah. He runs away from people.
Boy, a play looks like it's dead. Next thing you know, he's flipping the ball to the official for a touchdown. Hansen on for the extra point, and it is good. So, for a second straight, wait a minute, penalty flag down on the field on the point after touchdown, but that gives us a second to show you the magical run by Barry Sanders, which is given.
And you know what he showed me? I have to interrupt. You know what he showed me there? He showed me strength, because Eugene Robinson had a lock on him, and he shivered him away with a forearm.
Well, apparently the penalty will be against. Well, we'll hear from Tom White.
Offsides on the extra point. Number 42, defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good. Timeout.
Corey Dowden whistled for the infraction, but Sanders has given Detroit a 10-7 lead.
The way we call collect today.
Barry Sanders, a touchdown run, is given Detroit a 10-7 lead. Jason Hansen kicks it away, and Desmond Howard sent 5 yards deep in the end zone will take a knee. Let's again go back to the run by Barry Sanders.
Watch the block here. Zephyrus Moss on Reggie White, and then Compton right there. Another nice kickout block on Simmons. But after that, it's all Barry. And that's the move that amazes me. You know, nobody looks at Barry as being strong, but he just took on Eugene Robinson with a forearm and pushed him away. 14.2 yard average. That is unbelievable.
Well, while we were away, Earl Dotson, who did not start last week after injuring his ankle against San Francisco, he is now replaced at right tackle by Bruce Wilkerson, who got the start last week against Tampa Bay. Victor Bennett, balloon set back to Murrah, wide open. He has the first down all the way to the 34-yard line. He just went ramming head-to-head with Reggie Brown and Greg Jeffries.
There's the two tight ends. Chamora, most of the time when Chamora is in the game along with Jackson, Jackson gets the ball. And Mike Holmgren told us the other day we need to start switching up some things, showing people things we haven't shown them in a while. I think that's one of them. Going to Chamora when two tight ends are in the game.
Well, Chamora out for the time being, and you see the total yards. Detroit, they've had the ball one more possession in Green Bay. Jackson in for Chamora, and here comes Favre looking down the field for Don Beebe, and nearly intercepted by Ryan McNeil, and Beebe is down again. He took a heavy hit from Benny Blades, who was going for the football along with McNeil.
Now this is scary. Beebe is down definitely, and Benny Blades. It's an inside-out coverage. McNeil has help inside from here, and that's where Benny Blades is going to come. The ball's underthrown. I mean, he just put it on him.
Well, Ronnie, remember the game we had last year? I don't think I've ever seen, or 2 years ago, a human being hit harder than Don Beebe was in the end zone a game in Buffalo.
Yeah, Don Beebe took some shots. And I'll tell you, I don't know, this may be, that's just a shot. That is just a shot. They can't keep a wide out helper. This is Brooks. He went down first. Then Antonio Freeman came. And this makes my point, and I'm sure I'll ruffle some feathers on this. When Brooksy went down the first time, why don't you go out and sign Anthony Morgan, give him what he wants, to give yourself some insurance? Yeah, they had Freeman at the time, but hey, you got a legitimate shot to go to the show this year, like everybody says. Why not protect yourself? If you did that, he would have been 3 weeks in now and would have been able to play more and more into the game. It could be a factor, especially losing him. And now they got to wait for people to come along.
Well, Beebe is still down as the Packers medical staff takes a look at him. Very scary situation a couple of times already for Beebe, now being helped up. We'll check in on him when we return.
They're looking at Don Beebe. Now here's the hit again on Don Beebe. Blades right there over the top. Now, he just comes in all shoulder. That's a legit hit. And Benny takes as much of that.
Blades, like Beebe, appears to be all right. Although he has stepped down and Ryan Stewart has taken over. And down goes Favre. Back at the 28-yard line. And now a late flag comes in on the play. Luther Ellis, who did not have a sack all of his rookie year of 95. He has 2 coming into the game today this season, and now he has his 3rd. Let's see what that penalty flag's all about, however.
Well, that's a guy, Luther Ellis, and this defense has really missed going side by side with Hank Thomas. Personal foul, looks like. He's pulling it back. Hank Thomas is giving the face mask sign.
And that's what it is, the face mask.
Well, they said that coming into this game, they wanted to make sure they kept Brett Favre in the pocket. He's most dangerous throwing on the run. He's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL throwing on the run.
Face mask, number 94, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, and by rule, the ball must get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
There's Luther Ellis right there. Now, he's going to get some pressure inside, working on Aaron Taylor. Just drives him back into the quarterback. That's weak. If that's what they called for the face mask, that is weak. Favre is on his way down. And Taylor's is backed up into his living room there. Oh,
Not good.
And you know what's interesting about that? If a guy running the ball stiff arms and puts his hand on the defensive player's face mask, they won't call it. But they called that.
2nd and 10, and a quick throw to Terry Mickens, but it was thrown behind him. So it'll bring up 3rd down. Good coverage by Jeffries. And right now for a McDonald's game break, let's go to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Tom, how long do you think Jerome Bettis has been waiting to do this to his former team? 106 yards on the day already in the first half. 50 here on his 2nd touchdown run of the day. He did fumble, but St. Louis is trailing 14-3 to Bettis and the Steelers. Back to Tom and Ron.
What is Bettis eating? I mean, he is going crazy up there. Porsche, he's not going crazy at all. He's going out.
Keith Washington has checked in for Porsche. 3rd down and 10. Packers 4-4 on 3rd down conversions, and Favre wants it all. This will draw a flag. Desmond Howard, the intended receiver. And McNeil ran him over.
Yeah, Desmond Howard showed good speed there, and he got McNeil in a position where right here, you can see now that's Borgella there. Not McNeil. Borgella just ran up the back. He got Borgella in a position where he was beat and had to catch him, had to do something.
Defense, that is a 1st down.
That's not McNeil. That's Borgella.
Jocelyn Borgella, 3rd-year pro out of Cincinnati. And that is a 41-yard penalty.
Look at John Ponce, the defensive back coach. There's the brother of Coach Wayne Ponce.
Don Beebe back into the game, and this is Edgar Bennett trying to stretch it to the outside and just simply know where to go. Stewart there to force him out of that.
So far this game, big plays have meant the difference in each team crossing over the 50. You know, you saw the run with Barry Sanders. Beebe now back in the game. Right here, the play to Desmond Howard. And I'm I'm surprised Don Beebe back in the game after that hit. Benny Blades is not even in the game, and I know Benny's about as tough as they come. I'm not so sure that Beebe's got all the marbles in order.
Maybe not. Second down and 8. Ball at the 24-yard line. Barr back to throw. They're coming after him. Lost it toward the end zone and Beebe, and it's overthrown.
That's something you haven't seen a lot of lately. People hitting Favre after the throw, getting him on the ground. Pepper Johnson right there. He comes on the outside. That's Keith Washington. He loops inside and makes the hit.
Well, Washington is in there because of the injury a moment ago to Robert Bourget. So a third down and 8. 9:19 to play here in the second quarter, and Detroit leads 10-7. Bourget is checked back in, and a screen dropped off to Dorsey 11, and he has a first down at the 12-yard line.
There's Dorsey Levens. This is the guy we talked about getting more involved in the game on the perimeter. This is what they have to do. They don't have the knockout punch like they used to on the perimeter. It's got to come inside now. The game's got to be inside with the tight ends and the backs.
Well, you see what the Green Bay offense has done inside the red zone this season, and they're looking to add to those numbers. First and 10 from the 13. Levin takes a handoff, tries to get to the outside, and he's close to the 5-yard line.
That's what surprises me about Dorsey Levens. He's a little bit faster than people think he is. Here's a guy that goes 235. He just outran 2 Lions around the corner.
Well, he gained 9. Levens originally a member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and said goodbye, transferred to Georgia Tech. And he was a 5th-round draft choice 2 seasons ago, and a solid selection he has been. 2 tight ends check in, Chamura and Jackson on a 2nd and 1. Bennett to the 1, and he has a first down. It'll bring up 1st and goal, Green Bay. We have had a grand total, Ronnie, of 4 possessions in this game. Detroit goes down the field. Field goal. Green Bay down the field, touchdown. Detroit down the field, touchdown. And now Green Bay looking for another.
Detroit has played this game about as well as they can play it thus far. I mean, that's what you call game plan. That's what you call using Barry Sanders and keeping Favre off the field. The big pass interference is causing this.
Favre looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Terry Mickens, the first touchdown of his NFL career. And he's going to go in and celebrate a while.
Look at this. Look at this guy's hat. What is that? How do we get one of those? That's amazing. We got 2 guys with that hat.
Boy, Terry Mickens has to. Well, there are those hats.
Is that a bratwurst coming out of the side there?
Looks like a burger. Oh, man. And you have to have a little cheese on that.
You got to have a little cheese. Here, anyway.
There's a lot of cheese in his boot. Here's the point after, and it is good by Chris Jackie. So it's 7:46 to go until halftime. We got a good one going. 14-10 Green Bay. And our Aflac trivia question: who held Barry Sanders to his lowest output of his career, and how many yards did he have? Think about that. Well, Detroit will get the football back with 7:46 to play here in the second quarter. Green Bay in front 14-10 as Terry Mickens catches the first touchdown pass of his career. Central kicks it away. Short kick fielded by Milburn at the 10. And he brings it out to the 29-yard line. And let's go back to the touchdown a moment ago.
Teams have a hard time with the back part of the field. Now, there's Mickens right there. I just circled him. The play action's okay, but watch the Lion defenders. Nobody's in the back part of the end zone. Look at this. There's nobody in that area. If Favre wants to prove he's an MVP this year, he can do it very easily from here on in by making this team go on offense without the personnel they had at the beginning of the year.
Well, he has 2 touchdown passes here today. Detroit, very impressive on its first 2 drives, and here's a big reason why. Barry Sanders, who is closing in on 100 yards already, crossing the 35-yard line. 8 carries now for Sanders and 90 yards. And on the second drive, it went 68 yards. Sanders had almost every one of them.
Yeah, and the key thing here is this right there. They're getting points. They're making things happen. They're not going down there and shooting blanks and then coming off the field with goose egg. They're getting things done. That guy is going to be cool and calm and for the most part in the pocket and not him.
Gain of 7. Sanders will get it again on the 2nd and 3. Gilbert Brown stuffed him shy of the line of scrimmage. Well, we know Ronnie Pitts is a believer in reincarnation. Are you? Tonight on the X-Files. Agent Mulder uncovers a past life that'll change his future forever. Don't miss an all-new chilling episode of the X-Files. 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox.
I believe
back to watch that.
I believe in the reincarnation of Barry Sanders and the Lions offense.
3rd and 3. Morton in motion and Mikowski to throw it. In trouble. Down he goes. Santana Dotson.
They got a flag down.
Yeah, and a flag down on the far side of the field at the 40-yard line.
That was a big-time WWF body slam.
And in years past, you'll see that flag.
You will. I mean, he just
like
picked him up. Oh, they got a hold. That looks out on the perimeter.
And that's an automatic first down to keep the drive alive.
This is the sack here. Dotson, and this reminds me of
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon getting slammed
by Tim Harris.
Holding.
Wow.
Number 59. Defense. 5 yards. First down.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's Wayne Simmons. Now you're thinking of Charlie Martin, not Tim Harris.
Right.
See, those are huge penalties. Come finally get pressure, do a pretty good job of getting to the quarterback, and now they have the hold.
With 6:10 to go here in the second quarter. That's a Larson motion, short drop, and he was the intended receiver, but it was thrown a little too low. I got to apologize to Tim Harris. Drew a blank there a minute. He was too good a player to do something like that to somebody.
That's funny. I talked to Don about coming back here, and he said, I'm more comfortable coming back here playing than I am going a lot of other places, just because of all the good times. Remember, he talked to us about that '89 season. That was the year we went 10-6, and he had the big game against Chicago here. It's got to scare you when a guy like this comes into play. You're not sure what he's going to do.
Sanders just spins away from Wayne Simmons, still on his feet, just has to step out of bounds at the 39. He had about 5 guys around him. Well, told you the Green Bay Packers held Barry Sanders to the lowest output of his career. And the answer about that, how many yards he had, grand total of -1 on 13 carries the last day of 1994. But a little different story here today for Barry Sanders.
And another thing that helps Green Bay, or helps Detroit, they got 3 wideouts in the field. It's hard to bring up an 8-man front when you got to cover that 3rd wide receiver.
Big play here with 5:30 to go in the second quarter. 3rd and 12. And Mikowski steps up, guns it over the middle. Catch made by Herman Moore, and he appears to have the first down at the 49. He was able to slip between Robinson Robinson and Newsome, and appears to have the first down as Moore is slow to get up.
Yeah, Herman looked like he's a little slow there. Nice step up by Mikowski and a nice fire down the middle of the field. And they're doing a pretty good job on Reggie White because he has not been a factor. Look at the cushion. They're playing a double coverage, and see, he pushed Eugene Robinson just enough up the field to turn his hips and then came back inside. Don Mikowski is going to show poise. He's not going to get rattled. Right there, he got the shot on his head. You see that? Right on the top of the head.
Yeah, Moore, as you see, has still not gotten up.
In boxing, they call that a shot on the button. That'll put you down.
Shot on the button. Reggie White, as Ronnie pointed out, a quiet game for the NFL's all-time sacks leader. He only has one tackle and is really not presented a whole lot of trouble for Don Mikowski.
There's been so much talked about type of hits and crown of the helmet hits and all that. Well, actually, Newsome's pad gets him right there. Herman, you sure you're okay?
Aubrey Matthews has checked into the game, and it was good enough for a first down. Penalty flags on the field. Barry Sanders, better get him, is still on his feet, tiptoes his way along the sideline, and he has a first down to the 38-yard line.
Look at Favre.
Gain.
Look at Brett Favre patting Barry on the head. Well, you know that's respect. When an MVP comes over on the sidelines and pats you on the head and says, good job, you know you're doing something good.
Another penalty will go against the Packers.
That's Sean Jones.
Offsides. Number 96 jumped into the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. First down.
I thought he was an inch from breaking this thing. I thought Green Bay relaxed when he got on the sideline. But look at this. He's so close to taking that one again. And then he gets stopped by the MVP.
11 carries, 99 yards for Barry Sanders, and Herman Moore is still on the Detroit sideline. Sanders will get it again, and again has a hole, and close to 8 more yards for Barry Sanders. Stop made by Brian Williams at the 30-yard line.
Did you see the block by the rookie Jeff Harding, 64? Here he is right there, 64. He comes up and gets a linebacker and pushes him all the way. He's not even in the frame. Reggie there tries to come up right here. He's going to come up and get George Boots and push him all the way back into the secondary. That's what you call taking a guy right out of the play.
Gain of 7, second and 3. As Sanders is now rushed for 106 yards. He'll lose a few there. And then he has a few words for Wayne Simmons and gives him a little forearm shot.
That's unusual because you don't see Barry do that very often, but he's done that more and more this year, I think. And he got in the jawing contest with somebody a few weeks back, and that's unlike him. You talk about a very unselfish guy. This whole time people have been talking about what's wrong and his yards and all that. He said, hey, I'm only worried about one thing. Do we win? That's what the biggest problem is, not my yards per carry average.
3rd and 4, Herman Moore back into the game. Flags down, and they're going to whistle the play dead. Tom White.
That looks like Gilbert Brown having a problem getting up.
False start. Number 87 moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty.
That is the
Third down.
second time that Johnny Morton has been whistled for a false start. His head clearly not in the game early on.
Now Morton's right there. He's stationary. See, he does that little bend takeoff. I don't know if you can say it's because of the cadence difference from Mitchell. Nobody else has a problem jumping outside in the receiving corps.
Or along the line, for that matter. 3rd and 9 after the 5-yard penalty. Mikowski right through the hands of Herman Moore. and it would have been good enough for a first down. Well,
You know, is the sun bad on that side? Because it looked as though Herman, number one, didn't expect the ball that fast. So that's a good look at it. And we saw Ron Rice drop the interception and point it right to the sun. And Herman looking back at the sun there.
well, you know, Ronnie, on a ball very high end of the year with a lot of arc,
Right.
I can understand that. That ball didn't get more than 4 feet off the ground to Herman Moore. So this is going to be a long field goal try of 55 yards by Mark
What's the
Willis.
fake?
And they're going to pooch kick it. That will run and go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, down to the 13. So Wayne Fox not going to take the chance of having Green Bay add to its lead with 2:42 to provide aerial television coverage. And here on Fox, the Eagle has covered both baseball and football since its first flight back in August. I have a strange feeling that you could probably get a Colt Miller in Lambeau Field somewhere here today.
But don't try to get one after 10 o'clock tonight, especially if they win.
Nobody will be alive by then around here. First down, and Favre coming out throwing, and wants a bundle for Don Beebe, and it's thrown out of bounds. Great coverage here by Ryan McNeil.
Favre has taken more hits today than he's taken in quite a while, at least this year. That's legal. That's at one step after. And then we got to go back to the guy we saw at the beginning of the game in the tease there, John Tierling, defensive line coach. He loves to get after people. He loves to get quarterbacks out of the game.
Second and 10, 2:37 to play in the second quarter. And Green Bay with all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Ringer Bennett in motion. Short drop, throw to Mickens on the far side. He's shy of the first down to the 21-yard line.
I think Detroit has done what they have to do this game so far. That's put Barry in it early. Hopefully you'll get some big plays out of it, which they have. And now you hold on to the ball and keep this offense off the field. This is a good example of what we're talking about here. I mean, they're running the football. That's plain and simple.
Well, Brett Favre is going to allow the clock to run down to the 2-minute warning. This is a big play. When we return a third down, if Detroit can hold, they'll get the ball back and 3 timeouts remaining. Green Bay with inside of 2 minutes. That's in 8 games this season, Ronnie. 5 touchdowns in the final couple of minutes, 1 field goal.
And you saw Don Beebe there. Pepper Burris, the trainer, came out and talked to him on the field. I still say Beebe cannot be 100% right now. You don't take a shot like that and still retain all your marbles.
Well, it's a third down and 2. Green Bay 5 of 5 on third down conversions in the game. Favre in trouble, lost it down the sideline. This may be intercepted.
That's offensive interference.
Yep, against Don Beebe. And the flag comes down. Brad Ford, the rookie out of Alabama, looked to have a bead on the ball.
That's the same play they ran against the 49ers. It was an out and up. See, Beebe right there came out, now he's going up. And that's Brad Ford. See, there is no way that Don Beebe is 100% healthy right now.
I think, Ronnie, what happened was he ran out of bounds there, and that might be what
That might be. He pushes right there. But going out, he cannot be the first guy to come in and catch the
Pass
ball.
interference, number 82.
Yeah, they got him for pass interference.
That penalty is declined. 4th down.
They could have got him twice.
Yeah. Now, if you're Mike Holmgren, things are getting tough now. What do? You got Don Beebe, but is he healthy? Do you want to take a chance on keeping him in, hurting him maybe?
Hedrick back to punt for the first time today, and Detroit should get good field position. Very short kick, end over end. Milburn a fair catch at the 44-yard line. Only a 36-yard punt. And Detroit in prime time position with 1:46 left and all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
You make a good point there, Tom. That third down play, that was huge for them. They're usually pretty good. Here's the gunner. That's Roderick Mullen. Now, see, that's illegal. He's got to try to get back in bounds. He can't run all the way down the field out of bounds. They made that rule because guys, when they got plastered out of bounds, they just keep running down by the heaters until they came on.
Looks like a good idea to me. So Mikowski takes over the Lions offense at their own 43-yard line. Penalty flags again down. Boy, Wayne Fontes is going to look back on this first half. His team might be leading. They might be trailing by 4, but they have made some terrible mistakes. Dropped interception by Ron Rice at one end. This is their 6th penalty.
Start. Number 72 offense moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Ray Roberts again. That first one was questionable, but I don't know. That one they got him.
Dockers Khakis halftime report coming up. J.B. Terry scores and highlights from Week 10. Also Fox NFL Sunday's Choice Cuts is back. All that and more on the Dockers Khaki halftime report. 5-yard penalty, first and 15. Barry Sanders escapes trouble, but he can't dodge it entirely as Eugene Robinson came racing up to make the tackle. And did get out of bounds, stopping the clock. 1:38 to go.
Look at that. Missed tackles, broken tackles. The thing where he makes you look stupid are the missed tackles, because that's when you don't even touch him. You had a chance to touch him, but you didn't get to him. That's the ones that make you look like you never played football and have been drinking all night long.
Second down and 15. Harriman in motion. Play fake to Sanders. Flag down. Herman Moore, the reception at the 49-yard line, and Newsom shoved him out of bounds.
See, that one's in the Packers secondary.
An 11-yard gain on a 2nd and 15. And again, our referee is Tom White, a busy man, holding against Green Bay. Boy.
This is very uncharacteristic of Green Bay, especially on defense. I mean, they have been dominating everybody. Rick Shermer, their defensive coordinator. And now today we've seen a series of holding calls. We saw one on Newsom earlier, and then the big one on Simmons.
Holding.
Big march up.
Number 59, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Wayne Simmons again, the outside linebacker. He's right there. You know, it's one thing to get a block on a guy or stop him at the line. He just tosses Donnie Morton.
And, you know, as blatant as that is, I'm surprised that's not a 15-yard penalty. They only call it 5. It's an automatic first down at the 44-yard line. Metzelar is in motion. And down goes Mikowski in the arms of Santana Dotson.
Santana Dotson coming up from Tampa Bay. He's the guy that they needed to get better in the middle of the field, an area that they felt that they were bad in last year. He's been that extra pass rush inside.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15 with a minute 15 to play. Mikowski avoids trouble, throws up top. Moore had it, and then it came loose. Greg Newsom right there with him. It looked like Moore just couldn't haul it in, and Reggie White for the first time today applied pressure.
Moore has this ball, but it's a good job by Newsom of ripping. Watch Newsom's hands. He knows he can't out-jump Moore, but watch this right there. He rips that ball right out of there. You never, ever, ever give up if a ball's caught on you, because it's not over until the referee marks it. Good play. He knows he's not going to out-jump him, but Tim tries to just rip the ball out of there.
Detroit, 3 timeouts remaining. Likewise for the Packers. A minute 11 to go until halftime, and it's a 3rd and 15. They need to get to the Green Bay 46 for a first down, and this is not going to do that trick. Morton will be stopped at his own 42-yard line, and Green Bay's going to call timeout. They have a minute 1 left, and they're going to get the football one more time. And we'll be back to Lambeau Field in a moment. Football with all 3 timeouts remaining. But bear in mind, Mark Royals had one blocked last week. Green Bay blocked one last week.
Eugene Robinson just got taken down like you wouldn't believe.
And another flag down on the play, all the way back at the line of scrimmage after a 48-yard punt. And this looks like it's going to be called against Detroit.
Yeah, they're going to get Ryan Stewart. He comes with his best impression of the WWF. Why not? Everybody else is. There's Stewart there. He was backing up, protecting on the punt. Just completely twirls Eugene Robinson.
Holding. Offense, number 38, 10 yards, 4th down.
Watch over there. Ryan Stewart, he picks up the block and then just, it's a nice karate move. What do you call that? Jiu-jitsu? Kung Fu? It's all that good stuff. WWF.
Right. The Royals is going to do it again. Low line drive. Howard will have a chance to return from his 33, and he will cross the
See,
field.
that's what I don't understand. He has room to run for a few extra yards. Take that ball inside and get the yards. And I get tired of watching guys run out of bounds when they think they're going to get hit. I mean, a nice return here, okay? And real estate is crucial down on this side. He's got a blocker right there. He's got people inside. Take it inside and run the ball. And it's not a matter of saving that much time on the clock,
Well,
so you give up another few seconds,
Right.
yeah.
It stops anyway.
Yeah.
You change, open the possession. And here's Favre to throw. Catch is made by Mickens, and he did not get out of bounds. Close to first down yardage at the 40-yard line, and they're saying he did get out of bounds after all. So the clock stops, 36 seconds left.
This is where a lot of teams have slipped up on the Green Bay Packers, and this is where they've taken advantage of it. Inside 2 minutes, as you mentioned, Tom, they are very, very good at getting that last little kick before they run in at halftime. They always have the last word, and that's what you can't give them.
Bennett Levens in the backfield against Favre to throw. Near side, and step for step with Mickens with Brian McNeil. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The ball at the Detroit 40-yard line, and there are 33 seconds remaining. Now, Chris Jackie's career long is 54 yards. That came against Detroit in 94. So to get in that neighborhood, they need to move the ball another 2-3 yards at the very minimum.
Well, the way I've seen Jackie kick that ball sometimes, I don't know what's in his range. He can hit it from anywhere. Sure can.
There's the necessary yardage and then some to Mickens, who's having a big day. His first game active all year to the 22, and the Packers right there spend a timeout after a 16-yard game. 23 seconds left. We'll be back.
Back to what happened on that punt with the penalty. And then that's a big difference field position-wise. Next, Royals kicks a line drive and a pretty good return by Desmond Howard. Now you're in trouble.
So 23 seconds remain. Ball at the Detroit 23-yard line in a 14-10 Green Bay lead. Packers have 1 timeout left. And Favre goes down and he has to spend it. And they're in danger of being out of field goal range.
Luther Ellis showing up for the Lions today, getting somebody back in healthy and making a difference. When you have to double team Henry Thomas, then you got this guy that can make plays. He's working on Andy Timmerman and then just pushes. And see, that's what they talk about, Tom, not letting him out of that pocket. Keep him in there, get to him before he gets out, especially going to his right side. That's where he's great, going to his right side.
Well, Green Bay now out of timeouts. The ball is at the 36-yard line, which would mean roughly a 53-yard field goal attempt should we get that far for Chris Jackie. Do you just maybe take a shot, a time or two at the sideline, or at least 2 more, 2nd down upcoming? Or do you just take one shot, maybe get 5 of it back and bring on Jack?
Well, the problem with that, with the sideline, I don't think that people are on the same page enough with who you have out there personnel-wise to do that. Mickens has shown up. BB still, he's not there. Your strength really is inside with the tight ends and backs. But it does have to, it's got to be something along the sides. There's Rutgers. He's stepping in for the first time here today.
They're going to slowly bring him back into the mix.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of it.
All right, a 2nd and 23. Mickens at the top of your screen. You have Chimura, Jackson, and BB at the bottom. And Favre to throw, and it's overthrown. Looked like a cross-up between Favre and
that's
Mickens.
what I'm talking about. You're not on the same page enough with the injuries out there to run those type of things.
I'm not so sure Mickens couldn't have gone for 6 if he doesn't stop.
Mickens is going to come down and do a turn, but apparently Favre thought he was going to head up the field. See, right there. I mean, he has Borgella beat if he just keeps running.
Yeah.
Antonio Freeman, boy, he broke that forearm. They had to put a metal plate in there to help stimulate the healing process.
3rd down, Green Bay out of timeout. And we have 13 seconds left. Favre looking down the field, wants it all. And it's intercepted in the end zone by Ryan McNeil. So the Packers, with a 4-point lead, electing not to put themselves in field goal position. They went for it all.
It would have been hard to rush people on the field to get the field goal. And they said, if we're going to give it up, let's just give it up going for the end zone.
Factor could possibly be the wind in the face of Jackie, but once inside the stadium, down a little bit, it swirls quite a bit.
Yeah, that's huge though for Detroit. That says something going into halftime. Detroit goes from a team that comes in here on the way down, not happy about themselves, coach fired, all that kind of stuff, to now we are about to whip the division champion.
So at halftime, Green Bay 14, Detroit 10. JB and Terry will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages. This is the NFL on Fox.
Brought to you by
Field in Green Bay, a 14-10 Packer lead, and here are the numbers from the opening half.
Well, it's clear how each team is going to win. Detroit's going to try to win it by running, and Green Bay is going to try to win it by passing in spite of not having all the receivers intact. This right here is huge for Detroit. They are keeping Favre off the field and keeping that offense cold sitting on the sidelines.
It's been a hard-hitting game, and you wouldn't expect any different. Tom Brenneman along with Ron Pitts. After all, they don't call it the NFC Black and Blue division for nothing.
That's it. Yeah, Green Bay comes into this game already depleted in the wide receiving core, and now they're trying to get rid of Don Beebe. Don Beebe took some shots here early. I mean, some big-timers. I tell you, I didn't know if he should be allowed to come back on the field. Here's the first one.
Those are the hits you used to deliver.
And you know what? That second one was a clean hit. And the league better not try to get in it on Benny Blades on that one. He came in with his head up, his shoulder, and just made a nice shot. Now, you saw Pepper Burris, the trainer for Green Bay, come out and talk to Beebe on the field. I don't know if Beebe should be out there right now. Now, he's a 4-2, 4-3 guy, but I don't know if you keep him out there because he's got to be slower now after that hit.
You talked about at the beginning, they had to get Barry Sanders involved, and boy, was he ever.
Yeah, and you get him the ball early. See, what's happening is Detroit doesn't have to play catch-up running the football, which is hard to do even when you have a Barry Sanders. You know, they have stayed in the game. And what else is big too, Tom? What just happened here on this last interception by Ryan McNeil? They denied Green Bay points. This team has gone from down in the dumps and all the drama that went on last week in Detroit to now being in it with a team that everybody's saying can go to the Super Bowl.
Don Majkowski, the former Green Bay Packer, in the opening half, really no key mistake. He didn't do a whole lot in terms of numbers, but nevertheless, his team very much in this game, trailing by 4 at halftime. So Green Bay will get the ball to begin the second half. Travis Derby, 32. Desmond Howard, 81, way back as the ball blows off the tee.
How ironic that Don Mikowski, after once being the guy that was supposed to take him back to the promised land, comes in here and really has a good showing for Detroit in the first half.
And Detroit 0-3 this season when trailing at halftime. They'll try and change that as Howard is sent almost out of the end zone. So a good kicking day today by Jason Hanson. And Brett Favre, another key you thought to this game, Ronnie, spreading the ball around Brett Favre today.
Yeah, he's done a nice job, but he doesn't have a choice. And it's been a hard week for him. Anthony Morgan came in, and they're trying to get him together, get him going. Mickens comes in. It's just got a lot of guys that they got to get the ball to.
7 different receivers catching passes from Brett Favre in the opening half. So Don Beebe is in the game to begin the second half, and Favre comes out throwing, and he sends a bullet into the arms of Keith Jackson to the 26-yard line.
And Benny Blades back out there after getting ringed up a little bit. You can see he's got a neck roll on now. Boy, if you can get Benny Blades out of the game on a hit, it must be quite a hit. And he really gave the blow to Don Beebe. Yellow!
A gain of 8 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 2 for the Packers. Baker Bennett motion, and the pitch goes to William Henderson. Cuts it back to the inside. Very close to a first down. Needed to get to the 30. And Henry Thomas there on the stop.
I would suspect Green Bay to try to get more involved in their run. See, this is why. There's Sherman Lewis, the offensive coordinator, sitting to the right of wide receiver coach Gil Haskell. A much safer place for Gil Haskell up in the booth. It has not been easy for Packer assistant coaches on the sideline. They have been fair game the last couple of years, getting run over.
Goes for the 4th time today. Robert Porcher getting the sack this time.
Porcher is a guy that's been coming on 5 sacks, leads the team in sacks. That's number 6 right here. He's going to be working on that outside there. That's Dotson, who's back in the game now at tackle. And the tackle area has been a problem area for Green Bay. You talked to Mike Holmgren in the training camp. He said, if I got one area that I'm worried about the most right now, it's the tackles. Wilkerson was in there for a while. Dotson's back in. Gary Brown was in at the left side for a while. John Michael starts today. Rutgers, we saw him. They are not 100% solid in tackles, and that could hurt them later on down the line.
Edgar Bennett, a big hole off the left side, and he's rushing for the first down marker and has it to the 42-yard line. 17-yard gain before Jeffries ran him off.
This team runs just enough to make you mad. The run is not how they want to win. The run is what they want to do to set up the pass. Nice job there. Nice block by Henderson.
Well, he's a
Reggie Brown
blocker.
The linebacker boogeyman. That's what he calls himself. And you know what? At 248, he can call himself anything he wants to. Around me.
And me.
And you. You're a little bit taller than I am, right?
So, but that doesn't make me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. First down, Favre, short drop, far side of the field to Terry Mickens, who stays on his feet and maybe lost a yard or two as Reggie Brown was there to pull him down. Well, the Packers have been the most dominating team in all of football in quarter number 3, and a lot of that, I guess, Ronnie, has to go to Holmgren and his staff. Halftime adjustments.
Yeah, well, they're very good at that. That comes out of that West Coast offense, too. Very cerebral, always outthinking your opponent. But, they run that script. The first 25 plays are scripted. And then in the second quarter, third quarter, they start to get into that and go back to what works. That's one reason that difference is so high.
Henderson takes the pass from Favre, and he's close to another first down to the 48-yard line. Again, Brown on the tackle. So Green Bay on the move. Opening drive here in the third quarter, leading 14-10.
There's BB now. He's going to come down, even though he got his bell rung. he's still going to try to make a block. You know, well, not exactly a bone crusher. He made the effort.
He's had enough.
He's had enough.
I don't blame him. It is a first down. Barr will hand it off to Edgar Bennett. Not much room this time. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage before Thomas wrapped him up.
Edgar Bennett is a video game fanatic. We were talking to him the other day. He loves to play that John Madden football. And he complains because he says that John didn't give him enough juice. He's not that slow in real life.
And he talked about fumbles. Edgar Bennett, the first he ever played in his NFL career, he had a key fumble against Chicago. He didn't fumble again until a couple of weeks ago.
Right, and on the video game, he says I fumble too much. So the video game may have to get recalled because Edgar Bennett's unhappiness.
You're more tight with John Madden, so you better make that call. This time it's Bennett off the right side, and maybe got a yard. Kerwin Waldrop on the stop. So to bring up 3rd and long in a big play for the Green Bay offense and the Detroit defense.
This series is just as big as the last series for Detroit. We're winning the halftime. Because you come out in the 3rd quarter, everybody's made their adjustments, and now you say, okay, if this doesn't work, then we have a chance to beat these guys today. We're doing the right thing. And vice versa. The offense comes down and moves the ball. They say, hey, we made the right adjustments. We're on our way now. Everybody starts to feel their cheerio.
3rd and 10, Desmond Howard, a 4th receiver. And he will make the catch, but is shy of the first down by a yard, maybe 2. Brad Ford on the stop. So the ball at the 38-yard line. Do you go for it if you're Mike Holmgren?
I think it depends on how short it is.
He's not going to do it.
It's one of those long shorts. You know what I mean? It's not a short. They are 0 for 4 on 4th downs this year. They have never converted one. Mike knows what kind of game this is. This is going to be one of those games that the first person that makes the big mistake, it's going to cost him. And he's not going to be the first guy to make that mistake.
Glenn Milburn standing back at his own 10-yard line, a dangerous punt return man. Hendrick's been working on this short hooch kick.
I'd let that one go.
And it will go. And it takes a Packer roll down to the 15-yard line. Down by Corey Dowd. Figures that he was down the ball.
Day is brought to you by Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty, made for the smart, the intelligent, thrifty. By Sprint, the official telecommunications provider to the NFL. By HBO, it's not TV, it's HBO. And by Packard Bell, the world's #1 selling home computer.
Back in Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Green Bay on its opening possession in the second half has to punt it away. But now Don Majkowski has felt the injury bug to his receiving corps. Herman Moore has not come out of the locker room since halftime with an injured shoulder. So Aubrey Matthews, keep an eye on him, number 83 now in the game. And Barry Sanders slips off the right side out to the 17-yard line. But what would make Majkowski any happier than to see Moore come back out of the Detroit locker room?
Yeah, that's huge. Now, it'd be interesting to see how this changes them on offense. You know, they don't have that big, tall guy to go to. In fact, now they've really got 3 little guys on the field. There is no true X-receiver, as they call it.
Majkowski is hit on this 5 and 12, 38 yards. Short drop. And nearly intercepted by Doug Evans. He had an eye on a couple of receivers in the neighborhood anyway, Perriman and Johnny Morton.
They had a mix-up on the play there. And you know the other receiver that came in, Aubrey Matthews, he played up here in Green Bay as well. So he and Don know each other very well in terms of passing. But
go ahead, Ron.
No, I'm sorry. Johnny Morton has complained all year about moving outside. Wouldn't this be a perfect chance to move him outside? Johnny's a long strider. Johnny's a vertical wide receiver. You know, maybe you put him outside now and put Aubrey Matthews, who's always been an inside guy, inside.
3rd and 7. And Majkowski has to spend the timeout. Next week, a huge Sunday doubleheader here on Fox. The Green Bay Packers will battle the Kansas City Chiefs in an interconference battle, and then the showdown, the Niners and the Cowboys. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. The NFL on Fox. Good one here. NFC Central Division. 8:20 to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 7 for Detroit from their own 18-yard line. Morton in motion, and Mikowski in trouble. Down he goes. The blitz was coming, led by Leroy Butler. And that is his 3rd sack this season.
Fritz Shurmur threw him a curve. He came with the inside blitz. Both corners came from the inside, and then Leroy Butler came. That's a look Don Mikowski hadn't seen all day today.
So now punting out of his own end zone is Mark Royal. Well, he gets a charge into this, but returnable for Desmond Howard at the 41-yard line. Crosses midfield, stays on his feet, and all the way down to the 37. Stop made by Ron Rice, 46-yard punt, but a 21-yard return by Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard. Time field goal position there. Or field position if you choose. 14-10 Packers. Aerial views of Lambeau Field in today's game being provided by the new Miller Eagle. The Eagle, a fixed-wing airplane that has been equipped to provide aerial coverage on sports television. And we've been testing the Eagles a new way of bringing these gorgeous shots home to you. 14-10 Green Bay. First down, give us to Edgar Bennett. And he's down to the 31-yard line. Late flag coming in. Kenny Blades again in on the tackle. Tom White, our referee, has been a very busy fellow today.
And I think they ought to change Benny Blades' position title to linebacker, because he's listed as a strong safety, but this year he's played linebacker.
Holding, number 30, offense, 10 yards, first down.
That's a big one, because Bennett rips off a nice run. William Henderson gets the call, and that takes it all the way back to midfield. Now, Henderson will be on the left, right there. You know, unless he grabs Claw from the backside, you don't see any hold there at all.
London Bridge falling down.
Well, you're good. You're good, Tom.
7:35 to go. And after the penalty, it brings up 1st and 20. Catch made by Chamorro. Is stopped by Ryan McNeil, a 14-yard pickup.
Mark Chamorro makes no bones about it. When he catches the ball and he realizes he can't go any further, he's going to lower his shoulder and try to run you over. Here's a guy who's been pretty good in terms of attitude with Mark Jackson, or with Keith Jackson coming in here, because Jackson has come in and kind of stole his thunder. He's caught all the balls, and up until last week, Chamorro was really not involved. I don't blame Ryan McNeil for getting down there on that one.
2nd and 6. Edgar Bennett motion for a 3-step drop, pump fake, drops it off to Jackson across the middle. He's down to the 16, a first down. Blades was trying to stay with him and couldn't.
Right here, with Chamorro again. And see, he's the guy that they haven't been getting the ball to. Excuse me, that's Jackson. They haven't been getting the ball to him. This game, they're finally starting to pump it to him. 2 tight ends. If you can work both tight ends, they only had 2 catches at the end of the half. Now they're getting back into it.
Jackson, 3 receptions in the game, 35 yards. Bennett lines up as a wide receiver. Pump fake again, far across the middle. BB tripped up, and he's to the 4-yard line. Another Packer first down. And Farr very slow to get up.
The Detroit Lions coming into this game were second to last in having the most 1, 2, 3 and out plays on offense. What that's done is put the defense in bad position. They put the defense on the field. You've seen now the defense has been on the field a long time here in the second half, and it's starting to show. The Packers are moving the ball at will.
Favre here in the third quarter is hit on 6 of 6 passing. Just got it off before the play clock ran out. Edgar Bennett is met immediately. May have lost a yard or two. Reggie Brown along with Luther Ellison on the tackle. It'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Look at the difference in it right there. That's one series for Detroit. And your defense is on the field sucking air.
Antonio Freeman would like to be a part of this, but that's pretty much a situation he'll be in the next 4 weeks. They originally said 4 to 6 weeks on Freeman's injury. Now they're saying 4 weeks is more realistic. 2nd and goal. Play fake. Favre rolls right. Now back to his left. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown. Mickens is 2nd of the game.
Now, Beebe, what's Beebe doing up there? I thought Beebe was hurt. Beebe says, I'm going to go ahead and jump too. And another dive and catch. I mean, same thing as the touchdown before. Same part of the end zone.
Terry Mickens coming into the game today had a grand total of 7 catches in his entire career. 2 years. Today's the first game he's been active all year, and he has 7 receptions, 52 yards, and 2 of them for touchdowns. They may have found an answer to their wide receiver problems with Terry Mickens back in there. Extra point good by Jackie. 4:33 to play in the third quarter. 21-10, Green Bay. Week 9, Tony Banks of St. Louis, the Jets' Keyshawn Johnson, and Terrell Owens of the Niners. For their performances last Sunday, each degree will honor the league's hottest rookies. Now the Green Bay offense, red hot. Brett Favre, 3 touchdown passes on the day, 2 to Terry Mickens, and it's a 21-10 Packer lead in the third. Green Bay looking to go with just 1 defeat prior to a 3-game road trip upcoming after this one. Milburn from the 7. Finds a seam, and he is tackled out at the 35-yard line by Tyrone Williams.
Jackson and Tremora, this is where he wanted to go. He wanted to work this combination. He really wanted to go to this guy, but you can see the great coverage by Blades. That's why you can't let Brett Favre scramble around. He wants to go to his right. When he comes back to the other side, he can pass as accurate as anybody in the NFL on the run, and he does it twice, and good catching helps.
Herman Moore has come back in for the Lions. They trail by 11. And Moore is in motion. Play fake, and Mikowski to the air. And a strike delivered to Brett Perriman. First down to the 47-yard line.
It almost looked like with Herman Moore out, they shut down the whole thing and said, we'll wait until he gets back on the field. Because right off the bat, they went into a deep out to Perriman, but with Moore in the game, you know they got to put a double cover over there. They got to respect that.
Scott Mitchell, if you weren't with us in the pregame show, Mitchell an injured rib cage muscle early in the week. Designated as a 3rd quarterback today behind Mikowski and the rookie Johnny Johnson out of Illinois. Gain of 14. First down, Mikowski steps up, looking for the big one, and overthrows Moore after the cornerback Craig Newsom and lost his footing. Right now, McDonald's game break. Let's return to JB at our Fox Television Center.
Ty Detmer really doing the job. 17 of 28, 202 yards, 1 touchdown rushing, and this one passing to his favorite receiver, Irving Fryer. That's the score. 21-13 Eagles in Dallas. Back to Tom and Ron.
See the standings in the NFC East. Washington on Fox later today visits Buffalo. And what a big win that would be for Ray Rhodes' team.
The NFC East is heating up.
2nd and 10. Barry Sanders Slips a couple of tackles and stays on his feet and gets to the 45-yard line. What do you have to do to tackle this guy? I guess if you find the answer to that, you let everybody else know. And now Newsome is down with an injury.
No, that's Eugene Robinson. I saw he rolled over and held that ankle. Well, you know, Eugene Robinson is a guy that came in here as a replacement for George Teague. They felt that, you know, they weren't good enough in the middle of the field. George Teague had come off a thyroid condition, had recovered, but just wasn't the same player the last couple years. And with Eugene Robinson, not only do they have a guy who's got great instincts on the field, very smart, but can also go get the football. See, right there, he kind of caught that leg as Simmons caught it as he rolled over on him. Well, you asked me, Tom, what's the best way to tackle Barry Sanders? I think maybe go stand on the goal line and wait for him.
So Rutgers injured a moment ago, and now Robinson will have to leave. Rutgers has battled a problem in the knees, arthritic knee condition for Rutgers, trying to return after a pair of surgeries.
Boy, I'd say I look at Eugene Robinson there. You get those ankles, and maybe if you're a lineman, you can handle it, you can fight it through. But when you're a defensive back and got to twist and turn, it's pretty much your day.
3rd and 3, Roderick Mullen and Mike Pryor in the game, and there's a batted ball. And 3rd and 3, so Detroit missing a chance. Dotson, the man who got a hand on the football, and the Lions have to punt it away.
Santana Dotson, it's amazing. The knock on that guy was that he couldn't get an inside push and he wasn't very good against the run. But yet, since he's been up here, he's made play after play for the Green Bay Packers. He's been a perfect complement to Gilbert Brown down inside. What's going on here? I don't think Green Bay was ready.
Royals punts it away, and Howard will call for the fair catch down at the 10-yard line. And while we have a moment, Merrill Swanson passed away on Monday at the age of 61. The funeral was yesterday, and we'd like to extend our thoughts and prayers to Gloria Swanson and the family. Most of you know Merrill was the public relations director for the Minnesota Vikings for 17 years. They bench. That's his left ankle they're taping up. On a first down give, Edgar Bennett takes the ball, and he was dragged down at the 21 by Ryan McNeil, close to a Green Bay first down.
Missed tackles inside, came right off the tackle position. And that's one thing Edgar Bennett does very well. He can break tackles. Even though he's not a big guy, he came in this year and lost about 5 to 10 pounds, but always finds a way to sneak through the crack. And everything this offense does is quick hitting. You know, quick open handoffs. Everything is fast. That's one of the principles of the West Coast offense. Timing, tempo, quick expansion of the defense before they can react.
An 11-yard gain. Bennett goes to the sidelines. Dorsey Levin checks in, and he gets the ball. Cuts it back to the inside, and he's to the 27-yard line. Another good pickup for Levin.
It's clear now Mike Holmgren wants to go now to the run game and keep it solid. He doesn't want to take any chances throwing the football. He's going to keep it on the ground, and if he can't convert a 3rd down, he's going to go ahead and punt it. Decent block there by Aaron Taylor on Benny Blades. And once again, Don Beebe was out there getting the block. He said it wasn't a bone crusher, but he got in the way.
Bennett and Henderson check into the backfield. On the 2nd down, and we'll call it a long 2, close to 3. Bennett cuts it back to the inside. First down, Packers to the 34-yard line. Reggie Brown makes the tackle, and Aaron Taylor again led the way.
You know, everybody knows how good the Packers are passing the football. Coming into today's game, they're 8th running the football, but they average about 3.7 a carry. Anytime you can go over 3.5, your offensive coordinator is smiling. I mean, this brings back reminders of the old Green Bay Packers sweep. I don't know, Adam Timmerman got blasted there. Right. I don't know if Jerry Kramer would have been too proud of that one, but
That's good enough for a first down. So all is well in Packer lane. Favre looking the long ball. BB is open. And he could go. Touchdown Packers.
Now here he goes. Dinged head and all. He's going to make the jump.
McNeil burned on the deep ball, 65 yards. Favre to BB.
He had Ryan McNeil beat. I don't know if Ryan McNeil was looking in the backfield, but from the get-go, and BB is a world-class sprinter. He runs about a 4.2 40-yard dash. The guy actually ran a 4.2 once in college wearing sandals.
That's a fast man.
Well, to me, that's an athlete. That's a football player. Anybody can come out here from a track that's a world-class sprinter and run when they're healthy and feeling good. Let me see how fast you run after somebody rung your bell. Twice. Antonio Freeman said, hey, get him some oxygen.
Needed that after the 2 hits. Jackie on for the extra point. The hold by Hendrick, and it is good. Brett Favre in the second half. 9 for 9, 141 yards, a touchdown to Nickens, and now a 65-yard strike for 6 more to Don Beebe.
There's Beebe right there. Looks as though Ryan McNeil's locked on a man-to-man because I see the safeties messing around up close. The motion is tough. That motion got Ryan McNeil out of position. That's a very hard route to cover. And you can see the separation, the speed there. I mean, Don Beebe can flat out run. The knock on Don Beebe in Buffalo was that he couldn't stay healthy for a year. He'd have great games, and blam, he'd get the hit. Remember the one hit in the AFC Championship game you mentioned earlier? Got put on his head. And then he got hit again in another playoff game. That man right there, you may have to give him that MVP one more time.
4 touchdown passes today for Brett Favre. That is the 4th time he has accomplished that feat this season, the 9th time in his career. You have in the 4 touchdown throws for Favre. That is 25 of them. I think he's back on pace to give Marino's record of 48 touchdown passes and 84 a record.
You know life is good there. I was getting ready to circle Mike Holmgren. When the coach is over there talking to you on his knees, you know you've done something pretty good.
Thank you for being here.
I guess he's going to show his speed, right? He puts it in the high gear. It's being fired up, man. That's what it's about.
On the goods down there. That's where all the fun is, down in the end zone in this place.
Yeah, but like I said, when the head coach comes and takes the knee by you and pats you on the knee and says, good job, you were going to do something right.
Well, all has gone south here in the 3rd quarter with less than a minute to play in it for Detroit. Mikowski gets Sanders out of the backfield, who has been a non-factor here in the 3rd quarter after a big first half. Williams, a terrific open field tackle. Detroit offensively looked terrific to begin the game. The first 2 possessions went down the field. Led to a field goal for Jason Hanson and a touchdown for Ron Sims.
And see, now look at this. That's where the half is. At the halftime mark, they came out and they had that one possession and it sputtered, but they kept giving Green Bay the ball at midfield. The field position kicked in for Green Bay more than anything else.
Sanders. And he is just run out of bounds by Roderick Mullen and Tyrone Williams, a rookie out of Nebraska. So that will end the 3rd quarter. A quarter dominated by the Green Bay Packers. Are they the best team in the NFL? It's hard to find an argument right now. Is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers in the National Football League is prohibited. I'd like to thank the PR directors for these teams, Lee Remmel and Jeff Blum of the Packers, Mike Murray, James Petrinka, and staff of the Lions. And getting ready for this one. 3rd and 12 as we open the 4th quarter. 28-10 Green Bay. And Mikowski drilled as he throws. Is it loose? And still no indication on whether that's an incomplete pass. Santana Dotson delivered the blow. Mikowski is slow to get up.
His arm's in motion. That's an incomplete pass.
That's what it is.
And, you know, that's the same shoulder. He took a shot on that while he played here at Green Bay, out in Arizona one game. Look at the push by Reggie White. You talk about inside push. That's what people mean by inside push. By the time the quarterback gets his final drop, he should see opposite color in his face.
Desmond Howard waits on the Mark Royals punt. He'll make the catch at the 43. And Howard headed for the sideline, nowhere to go.
He couldn't get out of bounds fast enough.
45-yard punt. Not much of a return for Desmond.
Sunday is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By Little Caesars Pizza, where you get great taste at a great price. Pizza Pizza. And by DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
Reggie White and the Packers with a 14-point run here in the 3rd quarter, leading 28-10 with 14-13 left to go. 1st and 10 Green Bay, starting this time at their own 46-yard line. Bennett in motion, and they give us to Henderson. He has a couple of yards to midfield. Ellison Wells on the stop.
Notice Hank Thomas not in there. That's changed around fast. Oh, goodness. And see, once again, Green Bay always has the ball here in the near midfield, or better. You only got to go 5 yards forward. It makes life a lot easier.
Play blown dead on what would have been a 2nd and 6 for Favre.
Start. Number 63, offense, moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Look what Brett Favre has done in the 2nd half, Ronnie. He's been perfect.
Funny, Brett Favre told us the other day that the first 3 years, the worst thing he did to try to get this offense was to go home and study it. So the only way you get better at this offense is to play it. And that's been the biggest thing. He spends half the time studying now than he did when he came here. It's just so complex, so much stuff going on.
Well, early movement on what will be a 2nd and 11. Free play as Edgar Bennett takes it to the outside, but Antonio London moved early. So Tom White, our referee, whose voice is beginning to wear down, I'm sure, by this point in the game. Been turning that microphone off and on more than our audio guys down in the truck today. 16th penalty of the game.
Offsides. Number 91, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And there's that microphone. You know, Ron, you were able to really give us some serious inside information last week, a couple of weeks ago, when Jim Mora threw down a headset, and he said a new one would cost a couple of $100. What about that microphone, the referee?
Well, hey, you know, that's a wireless there, so that thing there, that's up there $700-800. Easy. You may have to import it. Hey, I've yet to see a referee get mad enough and throw off his wireless headset.
Right.
In disgust.
2nd down. Carry is Edgar Bennett. Picks up a yard. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Tackled by Reggie Brown. Right now, McDonald's game break. And let's return to JB at our Fox Television Center.
Tom, we've got a ball game in Irving. Why? Well, take a look. Emmitt Smith, now the 4th all-time touchdown leader. His 105th right there. 2-point conversion to Eric Bjornsson. We're all tied at 21. 8 minutes left in the 4th. Back to Tom and Ron.
All right, Fitzy, I'm going to throw you out.
Okay,
Put you on the line here.
Here we go.
Who wins that one down the stretch? 21 apiece.
Dallas.
All right.
Thanks.
3rd down, 4 to go. Favre rolling right, throws, and it's in the air and incomplete. He had an eye down the the field, but Reggie Brown was able to bat it away before Edgar Bennett, the intended receiver, could get a hold of it.
I am amazed at how well Brett Favre throws to the right. And it's ironic because in this offense, there was another guy rolling to his right was pretty darn good, named Joe Montana. But the way he can just put this ball on the money, on the run, he does it better than anybody in the NFL.
And that is the first incompleted pass of the second half for Brett Favre. That's how things are going for the Packers, not only today, but this season. Hendrick drops it inside the 10 and continues to roll and will be down to the 7-yard line. 41-yard punt, no return. Pryor, the first man down the field. Animals attack tonight.
Now, he's not going to attack anybody. Now, he may attack somebody, huh?
Detroit from its own 7, trailing 28-10. And they give us to Barry Sanders. Oh, what a move as he breaks it to the outside. Still on his feet and has a chance to go.
Got to get him.
And he is chopped down at the 41-yard line by Craig Newsome. And the more you watch him, the more you just shake your head and say, there are no words to describe it. 35-yard game for Sanders.
Watch what he did. He just put a move on Reggie White. And, you know, the knock on him is that he has never had great breakaway speed to, like, just go. Craig Newsome, he says, I'm going to stop the source. I'm going to get down by his legs, not by his shoes.
Well, that is 149 yards rushing in the game today for Barry Sanders. So he ends a drought of 6 straight games without 100 yards. The longest drought of his career was 7 back in 90. And Mikowski in trouble, looking to improvise, still on his feet. And he's still moving around. And he's going to look downfield as a penalty flag comes down. The ball is dropped after all of that.
The ball.
Johnny Morton dropped the ball.
Now they're going to get a hold probably back upfield.
But Reggie White ran a mile giving chase to Mikowski.
Jeez.
There's no infraction on the play. The block on number 64 was from the side. Therefore, there's no penalty. Second down.
The block by 64, I think he meant Hardings, who's right there. And you're going to have a heck of a time following him after this scramble. I mean, this is just pure upstate New York, Buffalo, the Pew High School action here. That's called sandlot ball.
And then after all that, you have a receiver.
And as he drops the ball.
Hang in there. 11:05 to go. And it's 28-10. Sanders slips his way to the 44-yard line. Reggie White there on the tackle along with George Kuntz.
I thought it was interesting what Mikowski said about being here in Green Bay when Holmgren came in. They spent 1 year together. Mikowski was hurt most of that year, but he really enjoyed the game plan, the philosophy, working with Holmgren. He really thought he was a quarterback type of guy, and he is. And, you know, that was kind of his biggest downer, being hurt. He felt that he really would have had a chance to do something big with this team. And, of course, Brett Favre came in that year and struggled, but showed signs of greatness, showed signs of what he is today back then.
3rd down and 8. Moore in motion, and he will make the reception, but is short of the first down at the 49-yard line. Down right there by Craig Newsome, so it brings down 4th down, and you have to believe that at this point in the game, Wayne Font says we have to go for it.
He's got to go for it. And still, teams have found a way to take away the deep threat from Detroit. When is the last time this team pushed the ball up vertically consistently? They just haven't done it. And a large part of that is with Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, is because of what happened in that Philadelphia game in the playoffs. They went bump and run and shut down people right at the line of scrimmage.
4th and 3. They need to get to the Green Bay 48-yard line, and they're coming after Mikowski. Batted ball at the line of scrimmage, and Green Bay will take over. Santana Dotson again for the second time. Reached his big old paw up there, and the former Baylor Bear batted it down.
Dotson has had an unbelievable day with some of the things he's done. You know, his father, Alfonso, played here see what he's done there. I mean, this guy, 5 scramble forced. That's a Pro Bowl type year. His father, Alfonso, played here. He was a second-round pick of the Green Bay Packers in '65, but he chose not to come here and sign with the Chiefs. And I said, well, did he get that Super Bowl? Because they played in that first Super Bowl. He said, no, he left and went to Oakland. So he missed the Super Bowl each time.
Or his son might get a chance.
He might get a chance.
And it's blocked by Terry Mickens.
The only bad thing Mickens has done today.
Right.
Don't worry, Terry. We'll forget about it.
Now, the Green Bay Packers, there's been a lot of discussion with all the injuries to their wide receiving core. With Brooks going down and Freeman. Can the Pack make the track to the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year?
Important game today because it's not over yet, but they felt they need to come out and win this one because they felt they could win. But next week, next 2 weeks, is going to be where it really shows.
Edgar Bennett cuts it back to the inside, plows his way to first down yardage at the 38. He just ran over Ron Rice. An 11-yard gain. Henderson leading the way for Bennett as he normally does, and a late flag comes in.
You can see Edgar there. He's got that shoulder harness around his left arm there. He had that shoulder problem in the San Francisco game. A couple guys have worn that thing. This is like a black strap, and it's tied on. And it keeps you from moving your elbow. See, right there, it keeps you from moving your arm.
52.
In so many places.
10 yards.
Aaron Taylor, he's got one, but his, of course, a little bit bigger.
So they'll bring it back. Winters getting the penalty infraction.
Yeah, there it is right there. You can see the way that thing is strapped on there. Just kind of keeps that elbow, that shoulder in socket.
Second down and 20. DB in motion, who had a 65-yard touchdown in the game today. And Edgar Bennett crosses the 40 to the 46. Stopped there by Luther Ellis.
Ellis made the tackle.
But without Brooks and without Antonio Freeman, why don't you talk about what they had to do? Not much from Anthony Morgan, but a different story for BB and Mickens.
Yeah, well, Mickens is a guy that surprises me. And you know, Mike Holmgren almost started Mickens last week. But at the last minute, he said, why? I'm already depleted. Why not give this guy one more week? And you know what? That was a great decision because that week turned into something very positive. Yards after the catch has been huge. We missed tackles. Not playing the ball in certain areas. They've just done a good job of running after they've caught it.
Third down and 15. Far fakes one way, screen play the other way. Edgar Bennett rolling off of the block in front of him, but he'll be shy of the first down to the 43. And again, Benny Blades comes up to make the stop. Well, Green Bay will take to the road for the next 3 weeks beginning next Sunday. And that road certainly has some frightening games on it, particularly the next 2 at Kansas City, where they're devastating at Arrowhead, and then the encounter at Dallas before going on to St. Louis.
If they can get past, if they can go Kansas City, Dallas, and at worst come back with 1 win, they'll be over the hump. That's the word around the NFL. They will be over the hump. Those 2 games scare Mike Holmgren, I'm going to tell you right now. In Dallas, they have not yet exercised that ghost either. They've got to prove that they can go down there and beat Dallas. Dallas doesn't believe them, and I'm not sure Green Bay right now believes that they can beat Dallas.
Well, penalty flag down, and they let the play clock wind down to 0, so they'll back them up. Well, apparently, we'll have to check that out with Tom White. There is no
Offense. That penalty is declined. Still 4th down.
They'll decline the penalty, and Hendrick will drop back to punt it. The key question for Green Bay, as it was last season, is can they find a way to put together the best record in the NFC to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs? Because they cannot, or at least have not, gone down to Dallas and beaten the Cowboys in a regular season game or a playoff game.
They don't believe they can do it. I don't care how good their record is now. They have to go down there and do that first. That will take them to the next level. They know they can get the 49ers. Now they got to try to get the Cowboys.
Aerial views provided by the unique new airplane called the Miller Eagle. Today's pilot, Mark Volano, and the Eagle Vision system operator, Steve Howe. We're wondering if that would get a little bit chilly up there here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, hovering around high above Lambeau Field.
No, not at wind chill's lovely up there.
28-10 with 7:15 to play. Mikowski brings him to the line of scrimmage, and if they're going to try and find a way to get back in it, they better do it right now. Morton made the catch, but lost his footing, and maybe picked up a yard. Doug Evans right there with it. Now, Detroit last year reeled off 7 wins to end the season, and then went on and got hammered in the playoffs against Philadelphia. But it's going to be a much more difficult road for Wayne Font's team to do that this year. We'll get back to that after we return following a timeout spent by the Green Bay Packers. 28-10, back in front. Brett Favre would be a strong running mate.
I think that's amazing. You know, in one city they're talking about a guy for president, in another city they're talking about impeaching the guy, Wayne Font.
Mikowski on second down, throws to Herman Moore, makes the reception, pushed out of bounds at the 42 by Craig Newsom. Clock stopping with 6:47 left.
That's the one they needed in the first half that they never got. Bump and run. Newsom knows what he's got to do. He's got to try to get it, but you see the way Herman used that left hand? That's the advantage of being that tall. You got great leverage, and it's hard to get inside your frame.
Mikowski again to throw, and this one is high. Had an eye on Brett Perriman. Good coverage over there by Doug Evans. Now, getting back to the Packers, last year when they won their final 7 games, the teams they beat were 12 games under the 500 mark. This year, the remaining schedule for Detroit is a dramatically different scenario. We'll show you what we're talking about here in just a minute. Second down and 10. Mikowski will be sacked again. 4th time today. This one by Reggie White. They're saying the ball was down. No fumble there.
Reggie White now, you know, Zephyrus Moss has done a pretty darn good job on Reggie all game long. But you got to wonder how long you can hold a guy like that. Zephyrus Moss, 324. It amazes me how Reggie can just move people. He's so strong. Sooner or later, he gets to you.
3rd and 11. And a strike on the far side of the field caught by Perriman at the 25-yard line. Clock continues to roll. It is a Detroit first down, a gain of 18.
I'm not so sure, Tom, that the Lion players believe that back against the wall speech again this year. In the past, it's worked. This year, I think it's not going to work, and they're down, and it's going to be hard to come out of this one, like you're saying about the schedule. These next few games are a lot tougher than the ones they had to play last year at this point in the season.
Well, Detroit in the hurry-up offense, under 6 minutes left to play, closing in on 5:30 to go. 2nd and 9, pump fake. Mikowski stays on his feet. And he's inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Doug Evans up to make the tackle. They'll bring up 3rd down as Gilbert Brown comes rushing onto the field. Santana Dotson will lead to 3rd and 6. Just inside the 20. Green Bay in front, 28-10 with 5 minutes to go from Lambeau Field. First down catch made inside the 10 by Perriman, and he's tackled at the 7-yard line. Williams on the coverage and the tackle after a gain of 12.
Wow, this is new territory for Detroit. As Reggie White comes off, new territory for them this time of in the second half. They have not been on the other side of the 50 until now.
First and goal, a quick touchdown, and Green Bay has a fighting chance. And there is a touchdown throw to Perriman that makes it a 28-16 game. And you have to go for 2
You have to go for 2
to bring you within 10. And that's exactly what Wayne Fonts is going to do. And you see Fritz Shurmur, the defensive coordinator of the Packers, letting his defense know that's the game plan.
Boy, it's amazing that the quarterback has time to throw as soon as Reggie White goes out of the game. Reggie White, we just saw him walk out, and Mikowski's got time to sit back and find a receiver.
First touchdown pass from Mikowski since the visit to Chicago last November. He'll try and add 2, and that flag's all over the place.
Not a bad play in this part of the field. Use Herman Moore's height. They used to do that a lot. Throw the ball up in the air and let him go get it.
False start. Number 1, offense pulling out without the ball. That's a 5-yard penalty. Let's do the try over for the 7th.
Hard to be quarterback when you don't have the ball. Reggie's still on the sideline. If I'm Don Mikowski, I like to look over to the sideline to see 92 standing over there and not in my face.
Morton in motion now from the 7-yard line. Mikowski steps up and hits Moore. Did he get in? Yes, he did. That is a 2-point conversion to bring the Lions within 10 at 28-18. Butler was with him step for step, but a perfect throw by Mikowski.
There's Herman right there. They use the motion by Moore to pull people off. And Herman just does a good job of using his body. I mean, he was physical at the line of scrimmage and then caught the ball and then reached over. He used all of his body in that play.
This is the touchdown throw a moment ago to Perriman. It's a 10-point Packer lead.
Having to go back into Detroit, if they have to need that game, you never know how that one can turn out.
Now the onside kick is coming. Oh, in the air, and a free ball, and Detroit might get it. A scramble for the football all the way down to the 40-yard line.
Look at
Bodies are still down there fighting for the ball. It looked like Herman Moore was going to get it off the high bounce.
Isn't that smart, the way they use Herman Moore?
And Detroit has the football. Let's see who's at the bottom of the pile. It looks like Jocelyn Borgella, the third-year pro out of Cincinnati. So he has the football, and Detroit still has a chance.
They used Herman Moore and had him go up high to get the ball. And, you know, now, most people would say, why would you ever put Herman Moore? Herman's on the end. You can't miss him. He's the tallest guy there. Well, watch this. Herman makes first contact with the ball. That's all you want. And then it's floating around the ground. But you want that first contact, because now you have a chance. Once you can get it to this point here, then you have a shot to get the ball. And that's a perfect kick by the kicker. Hansen did a great job of getting that ball to bounce high on that second bounce.
28-18, 4:20 to go. Detroit 2 timeouts remaining. And Mikowski fires, and it looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. He had an eye on Herman Moore.
Funny how Reggie White is back in the game. Things got a little tight. See, Reggie knows he's not going to get there, so I got to tell Reggie he's got to work on his vertical. No wonder he got tipped.
Like trying to throw it through a wall.
It's lucky it's not sitting on Oneida somewhere.
2nd and 10 at the 43. They're coming after Mikowski. Dodges Doug Evans and now wants a bundle. Perriman way down the field, and it should have been intercepted by Mike Pryor. Boy, they look like a jailbreak going after.
But you know, Don Mikowski is doing what this team needs. He's not sitting back there and taking the sack. He's going to avoid someone to his left. Doug Evans misses the sack there, but hey, he's going to try to make a play, putting the ball downfield. Now, yeah, this should have been intercepted and all that stuff. But you got to admire the guy trying to make the play happen.
4:08 to go, a 3rd and 10. Green Bay leading Detroit 28-18. Evans coming after him again, and he's got him this time. Evans and Dotson were there. 5th sack of Mikowski in the game today.
They brought Evans. Rich Sherman just said, okay, you're coming from the opposite side. Same play. Metzlar's a tight end, sees him, gets a push on him, but it wasn't enough. That's typical Fritz Shurmur, bringing out a surprise when it gets tight.
I don't know what in the world Green Bay is doing, or rather Detroit is doing. The clock's running. They have burned a good 20 seconds here huddling up. They're down by 10, and this is a 4th down and 17. They need to get to the Packer 33 for a first down. They keep Metzelaars in the block. Gunned over the middle, and it's going to be short of the first down by
It's going to be short.
yard.
It looks short, well short.
Now whoa, wait a minute. It looks like Detroit might have a favorable. No, they don't. It's going to be just shy by about a half a yard.
That would have been a big favor. Hey, that sack makes the difference. There's Perryman up top. Look at the cushion that the rookie Tyrone Williams is giving him. Perryman just misjudges that first down marker by about a step. He was close and got to where he needs to be, but if he takes one more step and then turns, they're still on the field.
Warwick Mullins delivered the big hit there to keep the first down denied. Edgar Bennett takes the ball, and Detroit will spend a timeout. The Lions have one left with 3:20 to play. Green Bay leading by 10. Well, our Miller Lite play of the game came in the 3rd quarter, and this was a big one.
Yeah, this is the touchdown to Don Beebe. And the thing that's admirable about that, not only 65 yards, but the guy got his bell rung up a few times. You know, he told us about that bigger, stronger, faster program that he's on, and it's completely the opposite of how athletes have trained throughout the years. He's on high protein, less carbohydrates. He says he's increased the fat in his diet because he was getting a problem with muscle pulls. And that's completely the way against how it used to be. It used to be low fat, high carbs. You can run longer. You can be quicker because of the low fat. But he felt his endurance has improved, and it shows here in this game. He's taking the hits and still been able to stay in there and make plays.
Packers will burn the clock, giving the ball to Edgar Bennett, and that will be the final timeout of the game. Taken by the Detroit Lions, stopping the clock at 3:13 to go. So Detroit will slip to 4 and 5 later tonight on Fox. It's the X-Files, another chilling edition. And that'll come up at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox.
Arizona Cheeseheads.
All right.
You know those guys out there? You're an Arizona guy now.
I know, but there are a lot of cheeseheads in Arizona. There are a lot more cheeseheads than there are Cardinal fans in Arizona. I can promise.
There's a lot more of anything than a Cardinal fans in Arizona. There's going to be some cheeseheads in the Diamondback games.
I believe it.
You're big there. You're the man out there now. Voice of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Boy, I tell you, looks like I'll be flying to old PHX to check out a couple baseball games under the twilight there. Huh?
And I know you'll be flying down to New Orleans for the Super Bowl come January.
Ooh.
The question is, will a few cheeseheads join you?
That's the big question.
Detroit out of timeouts and out of luck. Still fighting for
Very
first
much
down yardage, and getting it is Edgar Bennett.
Very much out of luck now, getting that first down, no timeouts.
Edgar Bennett today, 14 carries, 62 yards. For Herman Moore and the Lions, they've been down this trail before. A year ago after 9 games, they were 3-6. They won 7 in a row to end the season. After 9 games in 96, they'll slip to 4 and 5. But they have an injured quarterback, a wounded defense, and Wayne Fontes is looking for answers in a hurry.
Yeah, like yesterday. And they came out and did what they had to do. They started with Barry, but it still didn't work.
Bennett again, piling up the carries and the yards. This should bring us down to the 2-minute warning. That's the way the season has gone of late for Moore and Sanders. Two of the game's great players. And neither one has ever played in the Super Bowl. We're at the 2-minute warning, 28-18, Green Bay. Crowd roaring at Green Bay as the score has gone up on the board that Philadelphia has beaten the Dallas Cowboys 31-21. And the Green Bay Packers hated rival in all of football, the Dallas Cowboys. They've ended their season in the playoffs.
How much money did I lose? You made me bet that one. You made me pick that one just now.
All right, well, I'm not going to hold you.
You're not going to hold me to it, huh?
We don't want to get me in trouble around here. Second down at 6, and Edgar Bennett will get to the 45-yard line. Stop there by Mike Wells.
Well, they started off doing what they had to do with Barry Sanders, and that's get on the football, get it to him early. I would have liked to see more toward 25 times with the football, but he got 20 rushes in. They got in trouble in the second half. Pretty much they kept Favre inside the pocket, but he had such good field position. We saw that one time they let him out. He made the play down there on the goal line to Mickens. He spread the ball around great. He used 8 different wide receivers, different receiver combinations, including the tight ends and the backs. Mickens stepped up, a guy who's been quiet, been inactive, and Beebe, in spite of getting his head knocked around, made some big plays as well. He used everybody.
Edgar Bennett will stay on his feet, in bounds anyway, before he's stopped by Mike Wells. Clock will wind down under a minute. Coming up next, the NASDAQ postgame report. Fox Television Center in Hollywood will get you caught up on all the scores and more. It's all coming up on the NASDAQ postgame report. Well, Election Day coming up, but in Detroit, certainly a stadium vote for stadiums for both the baseball Tigers, the football Lions, side by side in downtown Detroit. Paul Tagliabue has promised a Super Bowl. That's a big day for this Lion franchise.
That's interesting because you're starting to see teams go back to the cities to play. That Detroit went out of the city from Tiger Stadium, built that thing really not very long ago at all. And now they're going back into the city.
Green Bay, that's their second charge timeout.
People are going to vote how they so choose and as they should. But as many know, if you had a chance to go to Denver, Colorado, where there's a new baseball field and all of the electricity and the rejuvenation of downtowns all over America directly because of sports and sport venues, it certainly is a different world.
My only question is, what happens to the Silverdome?
Well, they have a lease that runs through 2004. All that is certainly being worked on. But here in Green Bay, they don't have any problems about a stadium. They don't have any problems about the franchise moving.
And who
the only
owns
problem they have is, will the waiting list for season tickets go to 50,000? And it's about at 40 right now. Going to get away with a win here today, 28-18 it looks like. Let it go into the end zone. Our producer today is Pete Macheska, directed by Michael Frank. Our associate director is Sean Bergikoff, and our PA is Eric Urak. Our buddy Dan Rotante, our technical producer, studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Warren and David Hill.
The field position for Detroit killed them in the second half. Like we said, up until a drive ago, 2 drives ago, the Lions had not crossed the 50. You compare that to what they did in the first half. They went right down the field, 1 possession per team. You put Green Bay on the field too much, they're going to beat you. You've got to find a way to keep number 4 on the bench.
Dropped by Johnny Morton over the middle, and that'll stop the clock with 11 seconds left. We'd like to thank joining us this week. I understand we brought this guy out of the mothballs. Mark Barrow, good to have with us spotting today, and our statistician of the San Diego Padres, Roger Riley. There's a look at the crew. Roger, Mark, you guys get away folks back home in San Diego and in Fort Worth, Texas.
Them are the real guys right there.
Right. You and I are just along for the ride.
We're just guys, you know? We're just guys. You know, they say out there, what kind of guy is he? Can he play? He's just a guy. They ask, can we announce? No, they're just guys.
Well, what about some of the fans here? What kind of guys guys are they in this town particularly?
Faithful guys. Everybody loves to talk about how good their fans are and, oh, we're with you all the way. You know, this team, when they were 2-14 and having a horrible years, the place is sold out, and they were here. Preseason, it sells out. You show me another team in the NFL that has 40,000 people for a scrimmage, and I will buy you a bride.
Or Cole Miller, better yet. And that one is caught and staying on his feet inbounds is Brett Perriman. That'll be the final play of the game. And the ball is down, and that's where it'll end. So the Green Bay Packers off to their best start since 1966. They go to 8-1 on the season. Lane Fonts and the Lions slip to 4 up and 5 down at the play today without their starting quarterback, Scott Mitchell. They hung in there for the first half, but they were unable to keep things going into the second half, and that's where the Packers took off. Ronnie, at Kansas City, at Dallas for the Green Bay Packers.
That's right, and that's what home field advantage is going to come down to for them. They have to at least get one of those two. If they get them two, that's heaven. But if they slip on those two, it's going to be hard. And Dallas, even though they lost today, is playing better and will play them tough. But that's great for Green Bay. 8-1 at this point in the season. Health is a factor as well. They got to stay healthy.
Minnesota, big one later today, taking on Kansas City, and you see Detroit at 4-5. So for Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman saying so long from Green Bay. Final score: Packers 28, Lions 18. JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie Lott will be along from the Fox Television Center with the NASDAQ post-game report.